All right, it's probably the number one question I get asked. How do I get abs? That's right. And that's what we're talking about in today's episode. It's how to get those abs, how to get that six-pack, that we all want, strive for. So get ready for episode 122. All right, let's go.
I've always been that skinny guy.
Why can't I gain muscle mass?
What do I do in the gym?
They said I'd always be skinny.
This is your complete source for how to gain lean muscle and break out of your skinny body. From nutrition to getting the most out of your workouts and everything in between. We know just how frustrating gaining muscle mass can be, but don't worry, we've got you covered. You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast. Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody. I will be your host. And before we dive into today's episode, if you've not been over to bonestobulk.com, please go over there and check it out. If you're driving, wait. But I have a free meal guide. It's an entire week's worth of eating, lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks. It includes recipes, the whole thing. So go check that out. bonestobulk.com. It's right on the homepage. It's delivered to your inbox. It can't be any easier. I try to make it as easy as possible. All right, with that being said, let's dive in. So you want to get those abs. I get it. Like, we all want that six-pack. We all want it to be popping. And I get asked all the time, I want abs. What ab exercise do I need to do? How many crunches a day do I need to do? I've been doing sit-ups and I've been doing leg lifts for a month and I don't see any results. Well, first off, stuff takes time. Usually for most people, their starting point is a long way away from where they want to be. I'm not going to say their final destination because I don't think there is a final destination with fitness, but usually wherever they're starting, their goal is a long way off. So we have to take that into consideration first and foremost. Rome wasn't built in a night. Abs weren't built in a night. Nothing was built in a night. At least nothing that really withstands. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. But my point is, you've got to stay consistent. And yes, you want to do ab exercises. I'm not saying that ab exercises aren't important. They are. Do them often. Throw a couple in after every workout. Like, get in your ab exercises. They're important. Your core is important. It's even for more than just showing off abs. It's so important for your overall strength, your overall posture, your overall everything. But here's the thing that I really want to drive home. And it's something that people don't like to hear a lot of times because, it's often, if I could just do crunches every day and get a six-pack, that would be amazing. But it takes a lot more than that. And what it really comes down to is your nutrition. More often than not, when we're carrying extra fat, and even if we're like skinny fat, I'm not talking like you have to be overweight here, but we can be skinny fat and just have a little bit in that gut area because that's where, especially if we aren't carrying a lot of fat, usually what little we are carrying is in the stomach. And so what we've really got to pay attention to is the food we are eating because that is what determines whether you're going to see your abs or not. Because your abs, you can do crunches and you can do all kinds of workouts for your core and your abs. But if your nutrition's not there, you won't see them. Those abs are there, but they're buried. And so what I mean by getting your nutrition on track, it's starting to eat better, starting to eat healthier. It's getting rid of those target foods that you know aren't good for you, the sodas and the candies and the sweets and the fast food and the restaurant food and the processed food. I mean, I could go on and on and on. It's getting rid of those things. And I'm not saying they all have to go in a day, but slowly start cutting more and more of them out and replacing it with whole, good, healthy food. What I mean by that is stuff that you're cooking, that you know all the ingredients in it. It's not a bunch of processed stuff. It's not an ingredient list that goes a mile long and you can't pronounce half the crap in it. It's, I'm going to cut up this chicken. I'm going to add this rice. I'm going to add these vegetables. I'm going to add these seasonings. So I know every single thing that is in this food. I have seen all the ingredients. There's no hidden things. There's no hidden calories. All that is set. That's what I mean by eating healthy. And a good balance is key. I don't think we should be restricting any foods. I don't think keto is good. I don't think carnivore is good. It's just we need a good, well-rounded balance of all foods. And I know I get crap about that all the time. People saying, oh, like whatever. Like, I know what works for me. I know what works for clients that I work with. I know how much better people I train feel when they're eating all food groups rather than restricting certain ones. Because as I say all the time, fitness is not just about looks. Yes, we want the six pack, but it's important how you feel, your energy levels, feeling comfortable in your body. That stuff is just as important, if not more so, than how you look. So much more important how you feel than how you look. I'll give you an example. I was convinced I needed to weigh a certain amount a few years back. I wanted to get up to this weight. I'd never been this heavy in my life. And I was like, I gotta get this weight. And I finally hit it. And I felt terrible. That's right. I felt terrible at that weight because what in my head I thought was an ideal weight wasn't actually an ideal weight for me. It wasn't a ideal place for me to be at. And sometimes we have to come to understand that when we have different goals. Like our goals are going to change. We're going to have to adjust and pivot and adapt to what our bodies are telling us because we're all different. We all have different body compositions. We all have different bone structures. We all have different makeups. Like we all have different metabolisms. So there's not going to be two exactly the same people. Two things are not going to work exactly the same for two different people. There's going to be some variation. And so you have to tweak things. You have to find exactly what works for you. And so back to getting the abs. When it comes to nutrition, so not only do you have to be eating good, healthy foods, but if you're carrying extra body fat percentage, the way to get down body fat percentage is by reducing overall weight. Yes, you can't just lose body fat and not lose weight on the scale. And I know that's a scary thing. It's something that, if you're a hard gainer to begin with and you're trying to just constantly see that scale go up, you're like, whoa, I don't want my weight to go down. But remember, this is a process. It may go down and then you'll have to go back up a little bit. And it may be kind of this seesaw thing. Like that's okay. You're going to go through stages. You're going to go through cycles. You're going to weigh heavier at this point and lighter at this point and heavier at this point. It's just part of the process. Is it ideal? No. I wish I could just snap my fingers and have everything that I wanted, but it doesn't work that way. So as you lower your overall weight, your body fat percentage is going to go down. And as that happens, and as you lose those last fat stores, particularly in the gut area, which is usually the last to go, you'll start to see those abs. You'll start to see that definition. You've probably heard that saying abs are made in the kitchen, and it's true. That's why that saying came into being, because it's all about what you eat. We can't outwork a bad diet. You can't just shovel bad food in your mouth and then go in the gym for an hour and expect to undo all that eating that you're doing in the day. You can't. It's just not going to happen. So you've really got to stay focused. You've really got to determine what you want, because if you just are like, yeah, it'd be cool to have six-pack abs. It'd be cool to, be stronger. It'd be cool to run a marathon, whatever your goal is. But you're not willing to put in the work or the time or the dedication, then it's not going to happen. And I'm not saying that to bum you out or to be a downer. I'm just speaking truth here. Like, you've got to want it. You've got to be ready to make the changes you need to make. You've got to be willing to adjust, adapt, and do the uncomfortable. And know that, yeah, I'm not going to be motivated half the days. I'm not going to want to do it half the days. It's going to suck a lot of days. But I understand that that's the process to get there. It is. It's just the process to get there. And it does get easier. It does. I'm not going to say that it's ever gets to the point where you just coast, but it does get easier. The more you do it, the more it becomes habit. It's kind of like if you work a job, like when you first started that job, it was probably a little overwhelming trying to learn all the ins and outs and all the things you needed to do. And it's not like work is ever easy, but you get more comfortable in your work and it becomes more of a habit. You don't have to really, it becomes second nature. It's kind of like that with fitness. It becomes second nature. So while it's still work, we kind of do it without thinking almost. So just keep that in mind. Keep that mindset. Stay strong with it. You can accomplish the abs you want or whatever other goal you have. Always remember that you've got this.